Hey there, 8th graders. Welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Get ready, because today's mission is a seriously exciting one. We are going to learn exactly how to transform ordinary, everyday words into powerful, unforgettable music. You see, you aren't just going to be writers today. Nope. You're going to be composers. But before we dive into the nuts and bolts of how we actually do this, I really want us to look at the why. Why do we do this at all? Well, Psalm 96:1 tells us, "Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all the earth." Our words are quite literally meant to be a beautiful new song. God, the ultimate creator, crafted a universe completely filled with rhythm, sound, and beauty, and He invites us to do the exact same thing with our language. So this is our spiritual foundation for today. Crafting poetry isn't just some boring academic exercise. It's actually a profound way to reflect the beauty of God and offer a brand new song back to Him. So, here's our game plan for today. First, 1. Turning language into music. Then, 2. Your sound device toolkit. Followed by 3. Painting with sound palettes. And 4. Drafting and refining sound. After that, we'll go over 5. Your poetry homework mission. And finally wrap up with 6. The godly learner's mind. Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, turning language into music. Sound is memory. We care about this because intentional sound devices guide your reader's breath and make your lines completely unforgettable. Moving right along to Section 2, your sound device toolkit, the instruments of poetry. Like any good music producer, it's time to learn the specific instruments you'll be using to build your poetic tracks. All right. Instrument number 1 is alliteration. Basically, this is the repetition of initial consonant sounds right at the beginning of words that are close together. Listen to this. The wild will wind. Do you hear that? That repeated would sound immediately catches the ear and ties those two words together, making them feel like a single, unified burst of energy. Next up, we have assonance. This one is all about the repetition of vowel sounds inside words. Vowels are sort of like the breath of language. Listen to this phrase, slow, road, home. By repeating that long O sound, we actually force the reader to physically slow down. Assonance stretches out the pacing of a line and gives it this really resonant, almost musical quality. Then we have consonants. This is the repetition of consonant sounds anywhere in the words, so that's beginning, middle, or end. Look at these words, break, strike, talk. Hear how sharply I have to hit those hard K sounds? It's completely different from the soft initial flow of the W in our alliteration example, right? Consonance gives your poetry a highly textured, sometimes very percussive backbone. Instrument 4 is probably one of the most fun ones, onomatopoeia. These are words that actually imitate the sound they describe. Think about it. A snake doesn't just make a noise, it hisses. Dishes don't just fall, they clatter. A heavy book lands with a thud. This is the absolute most direct way to inject real-world audio right into your text. You are literally making the reader's brain hear the sound through the word itself. Now let's talk about repetition. You might be thinking, well, wait, isn't repeating words just considered bad writing? Not in poetry. When you intentionally repeat key words or entire phrases, it acts exactly like the chorus of a massive hit song. It hammers home the most crucial meaning or the deepest emotion, and it anchors the reader exactly where you want their attention to stay. And finally, rhyme. We all know exact rhymes, right? Words like light and night. But a truly great poet also uses what we call slant rhyme. This is where the sounds are close, but not perfect, like room and rumor. It gives a really subtle echo without feeling like a childish nursery rhyme. And hey, don't forget internal rhyme. That's when words rhyme inside a single line rather than just at the end. It makes the sound kind of ripple quietly through the whole sentence. All right, Section 3, painting with sound palettes, choosing your vibe. Before putting pen to paper, a poet absolutely must intentionally choose a sound palette that matches their intended mood. Check out this comparison. It's really fascinating. If you want a calm mood, you're going to lean heavily on soft consonants like n, l, and w, mixed together with long, stretching vowels. It sounds like a lullaby. Smooth, lingering, gentle. But on the flip side, if you want an urgent mood, you completely change your palette. You use short, clipped vowels and sharp, quick consonants like T, K, and P. It becomes fast, sharp, punchy. See the difference there? Your voice physically has to change to even read them. Moving into Section 4, drafting and refining sound. mixing the tracks. Let's look at some live demonstrations and actually mix some tracks together. Listen closely to this first track. Low willow over water, slow oars in a silver bowl. Let's just take a breath and let that sit in the air for a second. It feels incredibly tranquil, doesn't it? Almost like gently moving water. But the thing is, it doesn't just feel that way by accident. This brilliantly illustrates the mechanics behind the magic. Just look at the breakdown here. Device 1 is the alliteration of those W and L sounds: willow, water, silver, bowl. It just flows. Device 2 is the assonance, those really long O and I sounds in low, slow, over, oars. These soft consonants and long vowels force the reader to stretch time, lengthening each breath, which, scientifically speaking, actually creates a physical feeling of peace in the human body. Isn't that wild?
Now let's mix a totally different track. Listen to the raw energy here. Boots, beat, brick, tick-tack, quick step, back. Wow. Completely different vibe, right? It sounds like a fast-paced drum solo, or maybe someone sprinting down a pavement alleyway.
So the absolutely crucial point here is how we built that energy. We heavily used consonants on heavy, hard stops. B, T, K. Boots, beat, brick. We threw in some onomatopoeia with tic-tac to literally sound like a ticking clock, or hard shoes hitting the ground. And we topped it off with an internal near rhyme with quick and back. Those hard stops create undeniable motion. We completely changed the feeling of the poem just by swapping out the audio track. Which brings us to Section 5, your poetry homework mission, putting it to practice. Yep, it is officially your turn to step into the studio and write an original piece.
Here is your exact step-by-step process. Step 1, choose your mood and pick 3 to 5 sounds that match that vibe. Step 2, write 8 to 12 lines, making absolutely sure you use at least 3 of our sound devices. Now, step 3, listen to me. This is the most important one on the list. Read it aloud. Your mouth and your ears are your best editors. Read it out loud to catch any weak words. Test your audio track and then literally underline your sound effects on the page. Step 4, revise 2 of those lines to make the rhythm even tighter. And finally, step 5, add an internal or a slant rhyme. Have so much fun with this. Step up and be a true composer.
And finally, Section 6, the godly learner's mind. Education and biblical morality. Let's spend a minute talking about the spiritual weight of your voice. Romans chapter 8, verses 6 and 7 tell us, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." You see, gaining immense intelligence and learning really powerful writing skills without morality, it can actually hurt you and those around you. An academic skill alone just makes you more capable, but Scripture clearly guides us to keep our minds focused on the Spirit, because that is what actually leads to genuine life and peace. This idea right here is the very heartbeat of the HeroesMart Academy philosophy. We intentionally intertwine biblical morality with education because, frankly, education without morality can hurt. Knowledge and intelligence should always help you make wise, God-honoring choices rather than simply making you a more capable person. Poetry gives you a tremendous voice. Sound devices make that voice loud and memorable. But the real question is, how will you use it? As you craft these rhythms and choose your images, I want you to aim for beauty, for honesty, and for encouragement. Use your newfound skills to speak truth in love, to lift others up, and to pursue academic excellence while always keeping your mind centered firmly on God, truth, wisdom, and righteous choices. So I want to leave you with this one provocative question as you head over to your notebooks. How will your words sing a new, true song today? Take a moment. Really think about the incredible power of your voice, the immense beauty of the sounds you can create, and how you can use all of this academic excellence for God's glory. Have an absolute blast in the writer's studio this week, 8th graders. I literally cannot wait to read and to hear the incredible music you're going to compose. See you next time.